You won't believe it. Let's dive into the mystery of this ancient castle and hear the story from this old lady. The old lady said they moved in 1962, and the house was tossed to them by a pair of siblings. Then she pointed to an old photo, claiming the kids in it were those very siblings. But oddly enough, the siblings' parents were a pair of black folks, and before Zaoi could blurt out her confusion, the old lady also mentioned there's a ton of antiques in the attic, warning Zaoi not to mess with this treasure. I couldn't shake the feeling that the old lady was trying to lure Zaoi, as if the attic held a juicy secret. Then, she pulled out a universal key and handed it to the girl. This key opens every room, she said. Just as the old lady was about to leave, Zaoi brought up the fact that the room lacked mirrors. The old lady claimed she didn't want to see her old self, which was clearly a fib. The next day, Zaoi officially began her caregiving job. She only had to give the old man a bath and step outside for some fresh air. Out of nowhere, the old lady complained about forgetting to grab the flower seeds. Zaoi didn't hesitate and headed to the attic. But just as she started hunting for seeds, a weird noise suddenly echoed from deep within the attic, piquing her curiosity. It seemed to be coming from behind a pile of junk. Cough, cough, cough. If I suddenly kick the bucket, at least I'm surrounded by those deliciously creepy vibes. She found a wooden door hidden behind shelves, inserted her master key to open it, when suddenly the door slammed shut, scaring Zaoi so badly she didn't dare investigate further. She took the flower seeds downstairs, planning to hand them to the old lady. Just then, the old lady popped up, giving Zaoi a scare, but she quickly regained her composure. She asked the old lady about the attic door, but the lady replied that they had never opened it since moving in. Zaoi recalled Zaoshuai saying the old man had a stroke in the attic. Was something hidden there? The old lady immediately got upset, saying if Zaoi wanted to know what was inside, she should just ask the old man. Zaoi was equally speechless. Wasn't that just a blatant game? That night, startled by thunder, Zaoi opened her eyes and heard glass shattering upstairs, then hurried up to check. Upon reaching upstairs, she found the old man gone, panicked, and searched the second floor frantically before recalling his door only open externally, which meant he couldn't have opened the door. She returned to the room, only to find the old man sprawled against the wall. Zaoi told him not to move, but the old man struggled harder. He slipped and fell, prompting Zaoi to rush down in panic. Strangely, the old man refused to go home, resisting Zaoi. Then, the old lady came out too. She loudly ordered Zaoi to fetch a wheelchair from upstairs. When Zaoi arrived on the second floor, she spotted the bedsheet with the words "help" written on it. She couldn't ponder further, yanked the bedsheet and dashed back to her room, then flew downstairs. At that moment, the old man's terrified gaze clearly reflected his panic. Fast forward to the next day, when Yushi came over to help the old lady revise a plan. Zaoi's call led her to pull Zaoshuai into her room. She wanted to prove the old man had a hidden issue, so she took out the bedsheet she had hidden last night. Oddly, the writing had vanished. Helpless, Zaoshuai gave her a card, suggesting her own office for more talk. Zaoi noticed the old lady cleaning downstairs, so she quietly returned to the attic, hoping to uncover why the old man had a stroke. Surprisingly, a broken key fragment was in the wooden door's keyhole. She then opened the long-closed door with a master key. Inside were all sorts of ritualistic items and animal bones, along with some really creepy dolls. Zaoi had a fair amount of courage, otherwise she would have been spooked silly. Suddenly, a book caught her eye. When she opened it, there were photos inside, along with ancient incantations claiming to protect against harm. She even found a ring with a tongue inside and a flashy record labeled Jasfi's Daddy. It looked like someone had conducted some otherworldly ceremony in that attic. Just then, the old lady called up from downstairs, startling Zaoi, who dropped the jar she was holding, smashing it to bits. Panicked and anxious, she hurriedly scrambled to restore everything to its original state and hid behind a cupboard. Soon, the old lady opened the attic door, calling out for Zaoi. When she got no response, she closed the door again and descended the stairs, as if something hidden lurked within. Zaoi sneakily took the record, finding it filled with some kind of ritualistic chants. Just as she was about to listen closely, her best friend returned home, staring at her in shock. She told Zaoi that this was the legendary witchcraft. As long as you believe, it exists. If you don't believe, it can't do anything to you. To test the validity, Zaoi returned to the old lady's house, sneaking up to the attic, where she hung a mirror in the old man's room. Next day, the old lady opened the old man's door, saw the mirror on the wall and nearly ground her teeth in anger, smashing the vase she held. She spun around and knocked on Zao's door, shouting that if she found any more mirrors, she'd better leave. Zao, seeing the old lady's strong reaction, was sure she was hiding a secret. She threatened to quit if the secret wasn't revealed today. Reluctantly, the old lady decided to spill the beans, and it all started 90 years ago. This castle once housed a top-notch wealthy family with 4 members, and there were also 2 black slaves. Their names were Cicely and Jasper, the very 2 Zao had seen in the attic photos.